Hello, beautiful people. My name is Reba, and welcome to my apprenticeship portfolio tour. So this is a sketchbook. It's a little dusty on the outside. I think I remember getting this thing from Amazon, ordered online this big. I don't remember the exact size, but I haven't looked at this thing in a while, so let's check out what's inside. So the first page is pencil drawing. I don't do a lot of pencil drawings. Actually, when I started this sketchbook, I hadn't done a lot in a very long time. These were like the first couple that I've done. This is, I forgot what his name, Christopher Karloff, I think, from The Mummy, which was fun, which took forever to do all of this stuff. But that was, I did a lot better than I thought I did, but it was fun. And when I got over here, I got a little lazy with the hair, as you can probably see. At the page, just a little weird bat thing. Like I said, pencil drawing is not the best. I think this could have probably been a lot better. The cool little hand sticking up out of the ground and stuff. This was a super little fun one to draw. I probably shouldn't have used pink. It's a little hard to see. I like pink, but either way. Little samurai lady. Could probably do something more interesting to her hat, probably, but it was pretty cool. If you look at her close, she looks slightly manly. I don't know. This was a fun dagger design I was trying to do with a squid at the top or an octopus at the top. I don't know if at a distance you can tell that it's a dagger. I'm not sure. Got some cool little witchery type design stuff. Book elements and stuff like that. These were actually really fun to draw, melting candles and little books. I love stuff like this. Continuing on with the mystical magical theme, I did a melting candle skull, which I hope is readable. And then you got a sorceress owl, if you want to call it something. Just a fun little design to do. But this was a really fun design to do. Samurai cat. I saw this little grumpy looking cat and I tried to make him look a little bit more evil. But it was, this is a really cool design. I actually really like this design. And then over here we got kind of like a trident. Then next, of course, we got simple moth crystal, just a random drawing there. And then I tried to do, what are these? The little cast skull things. I thought they were cool looking, and adding crystals to those kind of created a little design composition. And added whales to this one. This was fun to do. Little statuesque figures. We have some flash type drawings I was trying to do. Simple mushrooms. I actually had a really difficult time figuring kind of what would I do as flash. So there's mushrooms, and you got a bumblebee over here, cool little potion bottle book, cup of thing, and a weird eyeball with some nails in it. And then you scroll a little further down. Fun little toe to do. On the next page, we have hand that I don't really like, that I probably shouldn't have included in this, but whatever. We have another hand that actually looks pretty decent. I like the eyeball in this. I think I did a pretty decent job with this. And this one could have did a little bit better, but that's okay. Then we got another little potion bottle over here with a little skull in it. Sunflower skull. Then come over here to some line art. Actually, this entire book, when I initially showed it, was just line art like this. And I went back and added all the pencil stuff, because when I initially went, they asked me, did I have any drawings that were actually just on paper? And so that's a very important thing, to actually have some physical drawings that look like each other. I think a lot of these were actually originally sketched digitally, and then I printed them out and traced over them with black ink. This was a fun drawing to do. Freddy Krueger, no, not Freddy Krueger, Jason, jeez. Freddy Krueger. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is a Jason, like a little Jason mask and a snake and skull. There's no skull in here. And then we got over here a nice little skull chrysanthemum. This took forever. Just so you know, I started to get very impatient. That's probably why it's only darkened the outside of it. Then I threw in a little dagger here. Another dagger. Again, another digital drawing that I lined on a bigger piece of paper. I wish I would have colored these. I think these would have been really cool, or probably more impactful if they were colored, for sure. But I like line art, so they're still really, really cool to me. Come over here, we got a cool snake and dagger design. And then a Master Chief helmet. I'm a huge fan of Halo, so this was fun to do. Add some like little mushrooms and a little skull on the inside, super fun. More of those statue busts. This one has like a little hand coming out of it, just to make it a little weirder. Although I could have done probably a better job with the hands. This one was fun. This was a really fun design. I think I should have probably added color. This would have been cooler with color. Always fun to draw skull and fire and snakes. So I added some digital stuff. This is actually not the original colorway. It printed out incorrectly. This line is supposed to be pink, or whatever. Or tiger. It's tiger. It's a tiger. Think about it. But anyway, so I put in a lot of some digital artwork in there. So these are just prints of designs that I've made in the past. This took forever, but I love it. I love it so much because this is the original style of art that I kind of fell in love with. I feel like doing lots of line arts, and you can see that this took like, I don't know how long, but hours. I'm not very good at filigree, but I added it in there anyway. Maybe something that would have been better with color, but I like the line art version of it, so I'm happy with this. Glad to have put it in my portfolio. Also another digital piece. I call this one What Lies Beneath. Just kind of imagining some weird creature thing kind of waiting below the earth or something for small animals to come near, and it snatches the shit out of them actually. Another digital print. Did like a little Kraken ship in a bottle. Fun piece. This was a commission piece. This was super fun. It did take quite a long period of time, especially the leaves in the trees. Never in my life do I want to draw leaves, each individual leaf in a tree ever again. But everything else was fun. I think I struggled a lot with trying to figure out the background here. And so I ended up with kind of like a filigree-esque vine. I don't know. Maybe it works, maybe it works. Just a really fun, weird drawing. Like, what if, this tiny bird just kind of blasts the shit out of this bigger bird? What would happen after that? And so his kind of skull just popped out of his body. This was fun. This is a fun little thing that all of these line arts took forever. Another digital piece again. And then, of course, we got E.T. phoning home, but he's kind of glitching out a little bit. Did I manage to make this look like a glitch? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Fun either way. Fun. Probably should have colored this also. Maybe, maybe not. Zombies, stormship troopers. How can you say no to them? How can you say no? You can't. You can't say no. This is a digital piece as well. This was really fun to do also. And I did like a slightly colored version where just the face is colored in. But just something really weird and fun to do. And I enjoy doing stuff like this. And then we come over here and we got some Davy Jones over here happening.
I cannot be summoned like some mongrel pup.
This was a really fun thing to do, and I wanted to do a different take, not the grungy, weird color that he is, although it's beautiful as it is, but just kind of add like a lot of, play around with a lot of colors here. Yeah, it actually ended up turning out pretty cool, better than I expected to, with as many colors as I have. Well, on to the paintings. If you've watched my Losing Your Passion video, you'll see all of these paintings. Cool little eye painting. This was probably one of my favorites. I love the skull, the mystical, magical beauties in the eye of the beholder. Then you kind of got come over here and you got reaching for the stars. Then a cool little lion fantasy painting. And then we got a little mermaid goddess over here, which was fun to do. And then we got the other fantasy painting, like a little eye, and then you got this jar with a fairy on the inside of it. And so I included these because I watched a few videos, YouTube videos about beefing up your portfolio, and if you have paintings, include those. So that was a very helpful tip. And actually, that is the end of the portfolio. There's actually probably several more pages, but they say don't fill up your whole sketchbook, just your best pieces if you can.
We have to be back to
Tattooing wasn't something that was necessarily at the forefront of my mind as far as career goals and everything. I didn't really start thinking about it until 2020, which was when the pandemic hit. Right, so I no longer had my job, had a lot of free time on my hands. Honestly, I was feeling really shitty about myself, feeling like a loser, feeling like everybody else was moving so much farther ahead than me. I was 27 at the time. I just wasn't in a good place. So I was like, okay, I really want a career. I really want to feel like I'm moving forward with my life. I really want to feel like I'm doing something. So let me go out and, go try and find something. I didn't have the right motives to begin with, which I'm sure influences and experience. It took about 3 months to create a portfolio. The first shop I actually went to was some shop that I found on Craigslist. They put out an ad for apprentices, and I think they were looking for like 2 at the time. And I sent them a couple pieces of my art, and they called me in for an interview. Unfortunately, I didn't get that the first time. Actually, they didn't tell me that I didn't get it. I just kind of found out on the Instagram or whatever. They just had like a little reel of their new apprentices, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. I cried about it a little bit. I was very hurt. I put a lot of work into the portfolio, and I felt really shitty about that. But pick yourself back up and you move on, because there are like 1,001 shops here in San Diego, and probably one popping up every other day. So I'm like, okay, let me beef up my portfolio again, try a little bit harder, start again. And so that's what I did. Second go around, I sent some emails out to quite a few different shops. A lot of people did not get back to me, which is perfectly fine. That's okay, I guess. I sent an email to a shop that I actually really wasn't expecting to get a response from whatsoever. It's just kind of like, oh, this is, why not, since I'm doing this. And it was actually a really nice, well-known shop here in San Diego. And so I sent them an email asking them to just check out my portfolio. Just give me some feedback on my portfolio. They sent me something back, told me to come in and meet the owner of the shop. I got real nice and dressed up, brought my portfolio in, showed him my portfolio. He loved it, and he actually offered me an apprenticeship on the spot that day. So now I have the apprenticeship, and my experience so far was difficult to say the least. As far as daily routines went, I had to be there generally at like 8 or 9 a.m. For the shop owner. He was always the first person to be in the shop to tattoo, so I had to open up the shop for him. And when I did that, I would have to clean, give him coffee if he wanted coffee, or mostly a lot of cleaning. My daily duties generally included opening the shop, cleaning, answering emails, taking in clients, checking them in and out, answering phone calls, setting up and breaking down stations, more cleaning, more cleaning, more cleaning. And I was have to run errands or whatever. If people needed food, I would go get food. Or just kind of being like the bitch, basically, is what it was. I knew that I was working towards a goal. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna put up with this. This is perfectly fine. Except for it wasn't actually. So I went into the situation hoping that being in this environment would kind of shift who I was at the time. So I was struggling. I was in a very poor mental place when I started the journey. Obviously, the whole reason I went into it was for finances. I wanted to feel cool and look cool and have money, and I thought that that was going to be the thing that would make me feel better about me, because that's really what I wanted. So I was coming in with a poor mental state. I actually live in TJ, so Tijuana border San Diego. And so I live in TJ, so I need to be up at least about 2.5 hours before I need to be anywhere. So I wake up at like 6, commute, which takes me at least an hour to an hour 30, and get at the shop at around 8 or 9 and stay until the last tattooer who would come in at about 10 o'clock or 11 or noon or whatever, and stay until midnight, sometimes past then. So my whole day was gone. 5 days a week. I did get 2 off days. However, there were times where they wanted you to come in on off days to kind of like be a part of whatever thing that they were having going on. And so, that already was enough. That was too much. So when I actually went into this whole thing, I assumed that being around other artists, we would all just kind of bond and get along and have fun and all this other stuff. And it was not that at all. It was really difficult to get to know the other artists and to connect with them. Everybody seemed so separated. There was like 11 or 12 different artists there already, plus another apprentice that I had to get to know. And we didn't get along at all. And he was the one teaching me everything. So that just added another wrench into the struggles that I had. So I always had to kind of like on a day-to-day basis, kind of individually go and spread out my energy and try to get to know these different people. And it was really just spreading me thin. Honestly, I was running on fumes and had literally no energy whatsoever. And you could see it. It definitely showed. Every single day I was just exhausted. There were days where I really didn't feel like talking to anybody. And, being in a tattoo shop around customers and stuff, I can understand how, that may not be the best thing in the world. But instead of this thing boosting me the way that I assumed that it would, I was just kind of in a much more negative place. It wasn't long before I was let go, actually. I didn't fit into the shop. I wasn't connecting. It was very difficult. You could see, all of the struggle and the difficulties and stuff like that I was having on my face. It was hard. And I was hurt at first, initially, of course. You are when you felt like a huge rejection. I had never been around a large group of people, especially creative, artistic people, where I just didn't get along with anyone. So that was kind of strange. But, I realized that they just weren't my people. And that's perfectly fine. I actually heard from other artists that they would go through at least, 1 or 2 different apprenticeships, different shops, So maybe your first shop that you go to isn't going to be the shop that you stick with. Sometimes you have to find the people that, are right for you, that fit for you. So, after being let go from the shop, I just kind of decided to work on myself, and that's what I've been doing. Is tattooing something that I would consider in the future? Yes, it's something that I still consider now as an option for me. I don't ever want to be in a place where I feel like I'm relying on so much superficial and outside things to affect my happiness and who I am. And so that's just been my focus. So in case I do go back into, the tattooing field or whatever, it's not the same repeat, the same situations. All right, everyone, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about my apprenticeship or my experience or anything like that, make sure you leave it below. I'll try and make sure I answer any questions you have. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.